Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you want to submit to be on the show, take a look at the information in the description. Got a hand for us,
So
Joe?
I have a 1-2 hand. We are about $825 effective. Played at a casino on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma.
Arkansas and Oklahoma. What's that called? Casino.
It's actually one of the Choctaws.
Oh,
Durant's
okay.
the
Yeah.
popular one. It's a smaller one out called Pacola.
Huh. Okay. I never heard of it. So this is post-COVID.
Yeah, this is like 10 days ago or so.
It's really interesting just because obviously, there are card rooms that have opened up around here too. And I I think LA, they opened up some rooms this past week, but I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, you look at it and it's like numbers are going up. Nothing has really changed. And
Yeah,
it might even
they
be
keep it to
worse.
6 max.
Right. I'm just saying that I just wonder if some of these places actually might even close down again. I don't know. Definitely if they do like stay-at-home orders again or something like that. But it'll be interesting to see what's going on. I think it's going to be a unfortunately bad time for live poker until maybe some sort of vaccine or something is really put out there. I mean, even with the clubs being open, I look around, at least my town, Austin. There's not many games going on. Maybe like 20%. Plus, they're mostly like you said. I mean, most of these rooms are going to be. They're probably going to have an order to have like 50% capacity, if that.
Yeah, I think they started out four-handed, and then no one was playing, so they went up to six-handed. And actually, it's gotten pretty popular now. For them, it's pretty busy, like 5 tables on a Friday or Saturday night.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So 1-2 effect, 1-2 825 effective. Okay.
And there's 2 limps. I think under the gun limp, cut off limp, and then I'm on the button with ace jack of spades.
Okay.
And I make it $15.
So 2 limps, hero on button, ace jack of spades, and you make it 15?
I make it 15.
Okay.
And only the under the gun player calls.
So only the under the gun calls, okay? And he's the first limper, obviously, right?
Yep.
UTG limp calls. Okay.
Flop is 8 of spades, 6 of diamonds, and 3 of diamonds. And this player was fairly passive, so I thought with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw that I'd make a C bet. So he checks to me, and I bet $20.
What was the flop again? 8 of spades.
8 of spades,
Yep.
6 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds.
All right, so 8 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds. So you have a backdoor nut flush draw here, right? I mean, you've got ace jack of spades. So, I mean, it's not a terrible board to see bet, I would say. With the under the gun guy out there, it's not quite as connected as like, say, like an 8-5-6, 8-4-3, or 8-4-5. I mean, I think once the board starts getting more and more connected, this tends to be put in kind of a check back range. But again, you do have, if you were going to choose one of the ace jack suited combos that you might see bet, it would be here with diamonds or with backdoor spades, or if you had ace jack with like the ace of diamonds or something like that.
Right.
So check, hero 20, call, right?
Yep.
Okay, so pot's like maybe $75, something like that.
The turn card is the 7 of spades. And the villain checks to me. And I'm curious your thoughts here.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. And this is actually sometimes a little bit of a spot where I will sometimes struggle in live play because it's really hard for this card to cause your opponent to fold. So I really think that you need to have a 2-plan street here. a two street plan, excuse me. Yes, you've picked up like a bunch of equity. And if you wanted to bet here, you're going to have to run across, I think, 3 streets if some sort of disconnected card comes on the river. I'm not a huge fan of like betting here and then checking back the river if you miss, especially if it's a disconnected, over card like a queen or a king. You have to barrel there. But I have seen people bet and then they just give up on the river, which I think is not really a solid plan. That's something that you can do, or what you're supposed to do with front door draws, because your opponent is less likely to have the front door draw. But usually the back door draw is represented as one that you're going to basically bet across. Obviously, if the turn was like the queen of spades, right, you'd have a very easy barrel. You're getting like a shit ton of hands to fold out. Here with the 7 of spades, it's probably one of these things where, maybe you favor like betting with ace 9 of spades. You favor betting with like ace 10 of spades, and maybe you check back ace jack of spades. I don't think that it's that bad it's probably some sort of partial, and I don't think it's going to be that bad to bet here. But what I will say is that I think you have to run it if you're going to get a high disconnected card too,
Yeah, I did bet, but in trying not to be results oriented, I didn't like it though, because I just thought afterwards, if he's got any 2 cards, 10 and lower, that called the flop, I mean, this smacks that range, right? Obviously 9-10 gets there, 4-5 gets there, 7-8, 6-7. I mean, any pocket 5s even picks up an open-ended straight draw. So almost anything that he called with, it seems like he's going to call again. And even though I picked up equity, it just didn't seem like I had much fold equity in that spot.
Well, yeah, but again, I mean, it's not... but you have an extra street, right? So it's like your hand coupled with the future equity that you have will sometimes make this a bet. And this is, where the equation gets better, is when the more equity that you have, being like ace 9 of spades, ace 10 of spades. Also, the properties of those hands, they block the nuts in the form of 9-10. I'm just saying that, if you want my advice on this, if you do bet, you can't check back blank rivers. And then you kind of get into this cat and mouse game at this level where, okay, let's say you bet and you're like, all right, I'm going to barrel the river if it's not like a 5, a 4, a 9, a 10. I mean, only maybe 30 to 40% of the deck's going to be good cards for you at the end, which is fine. Right. But even if it's like an offsuit king or an offsuit queen, you get into this situation at the lower stakes where people will call you down with an 8 anyways. And the reason why they'll call you down is because the people that are in your position will not bet one pair, especially at 1-2. They'll just check it back to get to showdown. And they certainly won't bet ace, king, ace, queen that they run into. I mean, some people will. But like for me, I would bet like pocket 10s here for 3 streets if like the river's a king. Yeah, occasionally like I'll value own myself. But the problem is that you don't get that fold equity because people think that you're just bluffing because they don't see people go for 3 streets with one pair.
I've heard you talk about this where you say they don't understand the word polarized, but intuitively they do, and so they think that you're super polarized here.
Yeah, and looking at the live chat here, Harry Silman says, I think bet puts a lot of pressure on single pairs. It does put a lot of pressure on single pairs, but you will see, I mean, I've seen a representation of people really sort of hero calling down because of this fact. I mean, if you put the general player pool at 1-2 as not really betting the river, in position without 2 pair or better, now, maybe that 2 pair is like a pair on the board and an over pair. Okay, they'll bet that, but they won't bet aces or kings on an 8-6-3-7 deuce run out or a jack or a queen run out. Then, and they're certainly not going to bet 9s or 10s. Then you start to see, then the in position player, it does have a somewhat polarized range when he bets at the end. So how much did you bet here? So it got checked?
I bet $40.
Okay.
And this is where it got interesting. He kind of clicked it back to $95.
So UTG to 95. Okay. Well, I mean, this is the spot that you sort of want to be in. I mean, he's representing like he's got a big hand here, right? I mean, he's representing like maybe he's got 9-10. Maybe he has, maybe he's got 9-10. Maybe he's got a set. Obviously 4-5 too. I mean, I know that's pretty wide, right? But these are the spots that you actually don't mind because you're pretty much always going to get paid off at the end. The rate of check raise bluffing is very, very small here at this level. And this will be great if you make it. I mean, obviously you have a pure call here, I would say.
And then before we on the river, I'm curious your thoughts. So what would be your plan across, let's say, spades, diamonds, blanks, and does it matter if the board pairs and a diamond or spade comes?
Well, I think that maybe, see, again, it's a little bit cat and mouse with the diamond because a diamond will be more scary for someone holding an 8, but they will also think that now you're definitely not betting one pair, right, if the diamond comes. But a lot of people will just give up. So I think it's kind of going to be more of a function of which diamond it's going to be. Like, I would not bet the 5 of diamonds. I would not bet the 9 of diamonds. I don't think the 9 puts a one-liner out there to a 10 or a 4. Any card that's going to bring in a one-liner to a straight, and if it completes a flush, in reality, you really are polarized. But I'd be betting a lot of high disconnected cards for sure.
Yeah.
So hero
the
calls,
river,
and the pot is 265.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Go to the river.
And the river is the 3 of spades.
3 of spades. Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. So it pairs the board, but it brings in your back door, right?
Right.
Okay.
And he checks.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Well, he checks that's interesting because usually you wouldn't see that on the back door side. You'd usually see it on the front door side, where even if someone had a straight, they might check, like when the front door diamond comes in. I actually put up this is one where, again, a lot of people give me shit, or they think it's like a troll, the Crush Live Poker approach to like bet folding in certain situations. But especially on the river from an out of position player, I mean, this is almost like a bread and butter type of situation where I would absolutely bet. And then, if you get jammed on, you probably can overfold here because the guy's not going to jam on you with 9-10. I put up a hand from Texas Card House on my Instagram yesterday where a guy in a 3-bet pot had pocket deuces. The other guy had aces, and the board came out ace high, and the player who was the 3-better from the big blind checked as a slow play, and the guy checked behind. The turn was a deuce, and it was set over set, and the guy with aces bet, and the guy on the turn raised, and the guy with aces called from out of position, so it's set over set, and then the guy with aces checked a blank river. The guy with deuces, the other set, overbet the river, and the guy with aces check jammed. And it was like, wow, the guy in position's getting like 4-1, but it's just almost always aces, or in this case, queens. There was another high card out there. The river check raise bluffing, especially to an overbet, is almost non-existent at this level. I think what would be interesting here is if the guy bet at the end here and what his sizing was. If he made a gigantic bet of close to pot, you may just call because he's got all the sets, right? But now that he's checked,
right.
I would tend to go, I mean, honestly, like I think he's got, it's kind of interesting though, the small raise and then followed by a check, but I would tend to bet at least the size of the pot here. I might go 300, 250 to 300. And then, like I said, you could ask yourself, like, if he jams for like 400 more, are you ever good? What did you do?
I went a little smaller than I think I should. I went 200.
Okay.
And it's not all that interesting. He went into the tank. He obviously didn't have me beat, and he ended up calling with 9-10 off.
Yeah, okay. See, that's what I want to get the value from. I mean, it's interesting, like I said, the small raise size, but check raise on the turn is going to be a very big hand, so you want to maximize. I'm really surprised that he just checked the river. Maybe, I guess he himself was scared of the board pairing. And
board pairing and the flush come in. I think that's he was talking out loud, and that's what he was saying.
Yeah. Some people are saying maybe like a hand like 2 pair the guy could have, which would be 7-8, which of course, you beat. And that's a hand like at the top levels that maybe in Hold'em might be turned sometimes into a bluff on this run out if you somebody had 7-8. I mean, who the hell's going to have 7-8 from under the gun as a limp and then check raise turn? It's going to be very rare. But yeah, in general, I mean, I think what you would take away from this hand is the fact that, when your opponent check raises the turn in a game like this at this size, it's going to mean a lot of strength. And usually they're not going to check the river here as a trap. I mean, it would be pretty... I can see this guy like check raising pocket 8s or pocket 6s on the turn, then he's going to check the river when he fills up? Probably not. So I probably would have gone for some more value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes total sense.
All right. I thank you very much for the call. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call-in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.